Welcome back to Practical AutoCAD and Inventor and our series on preparing for the Inventor Certified User exam, where today we're looking at the shell command. Whether you're designing lightweight parts, enclosures, or just want to reduce material usage, the shell tool offers a fast, efficient way to create uniform wall thicknesses in your 3D models. In this video, I'll walk you through the shell command and its options. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to turn any solid body into a hollow shell with precision and control. Let's get started. The shell command in Autodesk Inventor is actually quite simple to use and fairly intuitive. You'll begin by modeling the part that you want to create the shell with. And I've got a couple different models here that I'll be showing you to just kind of show you how it works. So the first one here is this object. It looks like maybe it's kind of like a mouse or something like that, but it's not. It's just something that I gave it some shape so that you could see the capability of this part, or this tool. And then what you'll do is you'll make sure that you're on the 3D Model tab here in Autodesk Inventor. You'll go to the Modify panel and you'll choose the shell command right here. When you do, you'll see that this dialog box pops up and it gives me some options here. The first option I want to draw your attention to is this thickness right here of 0.1 inches. So what it's doing is it's creating a hollow bodied object and the thickness of the walls is 0.1 inches. If I choose OK right now, it actually did take this object and it made a hollow body out of it, but you can't see that because it's completely hollow with the outside shell still intact. If I go to the View option here, or the View tab up here at the top, and then on the Visibility panel, I'll go to Half Section View, and I'll say let's look at this on the XY plane. You'll see indeed that this thing has been created with a hollow inside now, and the thickness of that is 1/10 of an inch. So I'm just going to undo that a little bit here so that we can go back to where we were. And now I'm going to show you how to create that same hollow body but remove one of the surfaces. Again, on the 3D Model tab up here at the top, I'll go to the Modify panel and I'll choose the shell command. Now, if I want to remove a face, what I'll do is I'll make sure that this button is selected, which it is because it's dark blue. I'll roll my model up and I'll pick that bottom face right there and then I'll choose OK. Now when I do that, you'll see what it does is it keeps the outside shell exactly as it was and it removes all of the inside. So now, like, this is a hollow plastic part, you could put your electronics or whatever it happens to be in there and it's ready to go. But there are actually a couple more options with this command. So I'm going to undo that and we'll look at it a little bit more in depth here. Going back to the shell command, you'll see that there are also 3 options over here: inside, outside, and both. Okay, so right now what it's going to do by default is it's going to remove the inside of this object. So if I come up here and I pick that right there, you'll notice that it's removing that, but it's only removing the inside and it's offsetting, you know, everything from the inside. The other one that's actually quite helpful here is this one where if I go to outside. So if I come over here, for example, and let me roll this back up so you can kind of see the top of it. If I choose the outside option, you can see what happens is it looks like my object got bigger, and that's because it did. If I roll this up now, the void is exactly the same size as the original part was. So if I wanted to have something where I was going to use this as a mold for a cast, you know, maybe I'm filling it with plaster or plastic or something like that, the void that's left over in this now is the exact same size as my original part. So that's actually quite helpful because now if I, you know, pour my material in here and let it set, when I pop it out, it's going to look exactly like the original part that I modeled. The other option right here is both, and it kind of, you'll see that what it does is it kind of splits the difference. It goes halfway in and halfway out. That one's not quite as useful. So the one that I would suggest you're going to use is probably either inside, where you've got the part that you have finished size, or this one right here, outside, where you're going to be creating your mold for doing like injection molding or something like that. Now the other option here that we have with this shell command is you can vary the thicknesses of the different sizes. So I've got something a little bit simpler here to work with, just a prism, a block, if you will. I'm going to go back to the shell command. And again, my thickness here is 0.1, so I'm going to change that to like 1/8 of an inch just to show you something different here. And I'll pick that top surface. At this point now, all of the surfaces that are left are 1/8 of an inch thick, including that bottom surface there. But I can vary different thicknesses on different sides. So if I go to the little expander here on this panel, you'll see here it says unique face thicknesses, and then click to add. If I click right here, I can add a thickness of like maybe 1/4 of an inch. And then I can say, okay, let's add one, and I'm going to add maybe that side. So now this one alone has a 1/4 inch thickness. And you're not limited here. You can create as many as you want. So if I said 0.5 inches, I could come in here and I could make that thickness 0.5. So you can come in and you can make all of those different thicknesses on your hollow body offset for whatever reason. Maybe you're going to drill and tap this and it needs to have some room for threads, or it needs to be a little bit thicker on that because it's going to carry a load or whatever it happens to be. But it gives you the option to start with that outside shell and then create your hollow body with different thicknesses. And that concludes how to use the shell command in Autodesk Inventor.